I'm just enjoying making content for me and my audience. If you were, then you would have not doubled down on that word. All of you know that he was just enjoying and making content when he said that, and he should not have apologized. KSI knows that, and his audience knows that. Why is KSI DMing me essays? I made a little joke, tagged him as a monkey, and he said, "You better pray we're not in the same building/area." I said, because he had to go through this whole cancel culture humiliation ritual of apologizing for saying a word that's just short for Pakistani. And he's like, "I'm sorry for all the Southeast Asians that are affected and crying over a 4-letter word." KSI said, "You don't understand the power of that word. I've literally gone to speak to FIFA funny monta. I've literally gone to speak to so many South Asians to understand and learn the history and impact of that word. How that word had been weaponized to physically and mentally destroy them." Imagine being physically and mentally destroyed by a word. And I know what you've been trying to do, but you won't succeed. You can't use past mistakes to try and shackle me for the rest of my life, because that isn't what defines me. I learn from my mistakes and try to improve as a human being. I try to be the best role model to my audience. You're just an ignorant clout-chasing fool, constantly chasing attention to spread your ignorant ideas. Do better. Okay, what ideas do you spread? What's your ideology? What do you believe in? I said jokes aren't mistakes. The shackles you have on are from the woke mob, not me, goofy. You and I both know when the cameras are off, you're saying Pocky and making racist jokes with your friends. Because everybody does. Type a 1 in the chat if you make racist jokes with your friends. If you say racial slurs when you're not on camera, you're not at the office, when you're alone, you make racist jokes. That's what you do. That's what everybody does, because it's not like you're being shackled and people aren't being weaponized, and it's physically and mentally weaponized to destroy me. Everybody makes racist jokes, right? You're not crying because of the shackles of physical and mental abuse from the word. And KSI starts coping. He says, "You don't know me at all." And my blood thinks he's misunderstood. Yeah, I do know you. Bro, nobody's that complicated. It's not that hard to figure people out. Also, I've been watching KSI for years. I know him. I know what he's like. I know his sense of humor. You're not this like extremely mysterious person. If I'm chasing attention, why even give me the time of day to write a whole essay in my DMs because I made a joke? You just think you know what I do when the cameras are off, but you don't, lol. As soon as he did that apology for saying a word that's shackling people and weaponizing and hurting them, he went right back to making racist jokes with all the sidemen. And he called the Indian guy in his group of Pocky. He was, "Oh, Pocky," and they're like, "Aha!" They laughed because he apologized, did the video, he cleansed himself of his woke cancel culture sin, and then went right back to doing what we all do. Guarantee you, right after the apology, he called Big Star Packy. Like I said, don't be in the same area as me. And I said you should be beefing with people that made you unfunny. A role model for your audience is being honest. Instead of saying like, "I'm sorry," just let them be honest with them and say everybody's gonna make jokes like this. Saying a 4-letter word doesn't define you as a shackling racist weaponizing people. It just means that you're making jokes that you think are funny. Because people misinterpreted it and said that it offended them doesn't mean you had the intention of being racist. The important part about racism is the intention. If you intended to be racist, if you intended to hurt, then maybe you should apologize. If you didn't, which he didn't, KSI didn't mean to hurt anybody by saying a 4-letter word. He was joking. Then you shouldn't have to apologize, because then we're in clown world. We're thinking that words are damaging and hurting people mentally. It's traumatizing people. The intention is the important thing. If you had the intention to be funny, I respect it. I'm just enjoying making content for me and my audience. If you were, then you would have not doubled down on that word. All of you know that he was just enjoying and making content when he said that, and he should not have apologized. KSI knows that, and his audience knows that.
That's it. Your job?